Everyone loved
hot and
Amanda,
sweet
the beautiful Akara
Akara.
seller. Her smile was as sweet as honey, but not every
Amanda!
eye admired her. For envy and wickedness were already waiting. Amanda had been the jewel of her village, the kind of beauty that stopped men in their tracks. Every morning,
Akara
her
are
mother,
looking so
Mama
good.
Amanda, fried
They will be
akara by
ready
the
soon.
dusty road junction. People gathered at the stand not only for the taste of the akara, but to see Amanda's smile. When she spoke, even strangers wanted to linger a little longer. Men came from faraway villages. Some brought tubers of yam. Some carried baskets of fresh tomatoes, hoping Amanda's heart would soften toward them. She would smile, but in her heart, she wasn't ready for any man. In the evenings, Amanda fried akara while her mother rested at home. When she carried the tray to hawk in the village, people patronized not just because the akara was sweet but because of her beauty. Her father, a strong man with a booming laugh, was the happiest man alive. At the village bar, he never paid for palm wine. The young men who wanted Amanda's hand in marriage lined up to pay for him. Amanda wasn't just beautiful. She was also kind. She helped old women carry their firewood. She fetched water for widows who were too weak to bend. Meanwhile, in another corner of the hut lived Amaka, Amanda's stepsister. Amaka was tall, her skin smooth. When both sisters walked side by side down the dusty village road, something strange always happened. The men who had been staring at Amaka's tall figure would suddenly shift their eyes to Amanda. They would rush past Amaka, as if she was invisible, just to greet Amanda. This made Amaka's heart burn with jealousy. Her chest tightened every time Amanda laughed, every time people called her the beauty of the village. Unlike Amanda, who was gentle, hardworking, and kind, Amaka was different. She loved sitting at the palm wine joint with the village boys. Her laughter would ring loud as she lifted her calabash and drank until her eyes turned red. Sometimes, she staggered home in the night, her wrapper half loose, singing strange songs. One hot evening, while Amaka and her mother were making dinner. "Mother," she said in a low, heavy voice, "I am prettier than Amanda. My skin is smooth, my body is full, yet men chase after her. Why don't they chase me? Why don't they bring me gifts?" Her mother looked at her quietly, then touched her hand gently. "My daughter, I will not allow another girl to take your shine." The next morning, as the sun rose and women carried their clay pots to the stream, Mama Amaka waited at the bend of the bush path. When Amanda passed by with her water pot, Mama Amaka's voice rang out sharp and bitter. "I know what you and your mother are doing," she shouted. Her face twisted in anger. "You are using charms to make all the men run after you, and now my daughter has nothing. I swear on my life, our hands are clean. We use no charms. I will not watch you and your mother destroy my daughter's life." Amanda hurried away, tears stinging her eyes. When she got home, she dropped her pot and broke into sobs. Her mother quickly gathered her into her arms, rocking her like a child. "My daughter, do not cry," she whispered, pressing Amanda's head to her chest. "Our hands are clean. Let them say what they want. God sees the truth." Amanda was at the village stream one bright morning. She bent low, her hands scooping water into her clay pot. Just then, she heard footsteps. She looked up. A tall, handsome young man stood before her. His skin glowed in the sunlight, his shoulders broad, his eyes deep and kind. He smiled, showing white teeth that shone like fresh palm kernels. "Let me help you," he said softly. Amanda's heart beat fast. He lifted the heavy pot of water as if it was nothing and gently placed it on her head. 2 days after, they sat under the big village mango tree. The breeze blew gently, the leaves whispered, and they laughed for hours. Amanda told him stories of her childhood. He told her about his village, his dreams, and his love for farming. His name was Ketona. From that day, Ketona came to Mama Amanda's akara stand every morning. He would help pound pepper, fetch firewood, and sweat dripped from his forehead, but his smile never faded. Amanda's heart grew warmer each time she saw him. Katona was poor. He had no baskets of yam, no jars of palm oil, no cowries to display like the other suitors. But he gave Amanda small gifts, tiny carvings of wood, ripe mangoes he plucked himself, wild flowers tied together with grass. Each one carried his love. Amanda adored him. But one evening, Amaka saw them laughing together. Her eyes narrowed. Her lips curled into a sneer. "So," Amaka said scornfully, "with all your beauty, you want to marry a poor man? Shame." Amanda smiled gently and said nothing. Her silence only made Amaka angrier. Later, Amaka sat with her mother as they cracked palm kernels. "Look at Amanda," Amaka hissed. "After all the men that bring her gifts, she follows a poor boy. What kind of foolishness is this?" They both laughed scornfully. When Amanda's father heard about Katona, his anger shook the house. His booming voice filled the hut. "Never," he thundered. "My daughter will not marry a poor farmer. She deserves better. I will introduce her to a rice merchant, a man of wealth." Amanda's heart broke at her father's words, but she stayed quiet. Her love for Katona was deep, and she would not let it go so easily. Then, one afternoon, the sound of donkey hooves echoed on the dusty road. A royal entourage entered the village. At the front rode Katona. But he was not the simple, poor farmer they thought he was. Katona stepped down from his horse. He looked at Amanda's father and spoke with a strong voice. "I am Prince Katona," he declared, his voice echoing. "The only son of King Atumba. I did not only come to look for a beautiful wife but for a kind and humble woman. I have been making inquiries about Amanda for a long time. That is why I waited for her at the river." Amanda's eyes widened. Her heart pounded in her chest. "I will return in 7 market days with my people to pay her bride price." The crowd erupted in shock. Some clapped. Some gasped. Some could not close their mouths. Amanda blushed. Her face glowed as she held Katona's hand, her heart bursting with joy. Slowly, she walked him back to his horse, her fingers refusing to let go. Behind them, Amaka's face burned with rage, her nails digging into her palms. That night, the rain poured heavily. But in Mama Amaka's hut, there was no peace. Amaka tossed on her mat, her heart burning like fire. "How can Amanda be this lucky?" she hissed. "How can she find not just a handsome man, but a rich prince too?" Her mother's eyes glowed with bitterness. "My daughter," Mama Amaka said, her voice low and sharp, "I will not let her shine. I will not let her take everything while you are left with nothing." She lifted her lantern, covered herself with a wrapper, and stepped out into the storm. She walked deep into the dark forest where no one dared to go. There, hidden among the trees, stood a crooked hut. The hut of the old witch, the one who had been banished for killing her husband with charms. She smiled with broken teeth when she saw Mama Amaka. The old witch croaked. "What do you want?" "My stepdaughter is about to marry a rich prince," she said, her voice shaking. "I want her gone. I want her dead." The old witch laughed, the sound chilling like a crow's cry. She reached into a calabash and pulled out a small bag filled with black powder. Her eyes gleamed. "Pour this on her bed the night before her wedding," she whispered. "When she lies on it, something terrible will happen to her. By morning, her life will be ruined." Mima Amaka grabbed the powder with trembling hands and rushed back into the rain. By morning, she told Amaka everything. Both mother and daughter smiled wickedly, their hearts filled with dark joy. At last, Amanda's shining star would fall. The next evening, the whole village was buzzing with excitement. The prince's people were coming the next day to pay Amanda's bride price. Amanda sat quietly in her mother's room as her friends wove her hair, making her look even more beautiful. Meanwhile, Mama Amaka sneaked into Amanda's room when no one was watching. Her hands shook as she poured the black powder carefully across Amanda's bed. She quickly ran back to her room, her heart beating fast. By tomorrow morning, she whispered, Amanda will be finished. That night, Amaka went out as usual to the palm wine joint. She drank until her eyes rolled, laughing loudly with the village boys. When she staggered home, she pushed open the door of the room she shares with Amanda. Her head was heavy, and she was drunk. She didn't know the difference between her bed and Amanda's bed. She threw herself on it and fell into a deep, drunken sleep. Moments later, Amanda came in quietly and lay on the other bed, not knowing what had just happened. The morning came. The cock crowed. Amaka woke up and stretched. But when she looked in the mirror, she froze. Her face was no longer smooth. Her beauty was gone. Her skin was wrinkled, her eyes sunken, her lips twisted. She looked like an old woman. No, Amaka screamed. Her voice rang through the hut. Her mother ran inside. She stopped and gasped, her hands flying to her head. The very bed she had prepared for Amanda, her own daughter had slept on it. She fell to her knees, crying loudly. The neighbors rushed in. Soon the whole village gathered, their eyes wide with shock. Mama Amaka broke down. Tears streamed down her face as she confessed everything, how she went to the witch, how she poured the powder, how envy had led her to do evil. The villagers shook their heads in anger. This is wickedness, they cried. You tried to destroy the innocent girl God blessed. The elders rose. Their voices were firm. Such evil cannot stay among us. Mama Amaka and Amaka must be taken away. That very day, mother and daughter were driven into the evil forest. Their cries echoed as the villagers chased them away, never to return. Amanda stood quietly, her eyes wet with tears, but her heart filled with relief. She was spared. Her kindness, her patience, and her innocence had protected her. And when Prince Katona returned, he found her shining more beautifully than ever. Not just because of her face, but because her heart was pure. The villagers sang and danced, saying, "This is what envy brings, nothing but shame and tears. But kindness will always shine in the end." Amaka's envy brought her shame, but Amanda's kindness made her shine. What lesson do you take from this story? Share below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next tale.